All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to your Daily Dose of Awesome. Let's just make sure my setup here is okay. I'm going to actually check my phone to make sure that we are live, and then we will get going. Sweet. There we go. What is up? So, welcome, everybody. This is Fernie Savelis. Today, I want to talk about your lack of leads, your lack of prospects, lack of sales, or literally any other problem that you're experiencing in your business, your network marketing business, your efforts to build your network marketing business online, whatever that is. Because here's the premise of the call. Are your lack of leads, prospect, or sales really a problem? And I'm gonna basically share with you my thesis for the call is that those aren't really your problems. So that's what I'm going to start off with. What's up? People are rolling in. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Thomas, hey, what's up? David, Chuck, sweet. Let me know where you guys are dialing in from or calling in from or watching in from with Facebook Live, whatever. What's up, guys? All right. So, again, the title of today's call are your lack of leads. So are your lack of leads, prospect, and sales a problem? The thesis for today is not really. Today I want to tell you that I want you to tell me, I'm going to have you tell me your problems, and I basically want you to fill me up with all your problems. I want you to interact with me and comment as people start rolling in. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Paul. Hey, Michael. Okay, so, all right, so those of you just joining us, what I want to talk about is that our lack of leads, prospect, or sales a problem, and my thesis is going to be that not really. And today I want you guys to tell me your problems, and you're going to tell me your problems, and I'm going to show you a way to solve your problems without actually needing to put forth the effort to solve the problem that you're stating. And that might make no sense right now, but it'll kind of start making more sense in just a moment. And this is based off of a chapter I was reading last night from The Road Less Stupid. And it's actually The Road Less Stupid is a book by Keith Cunningham. And if you don't have The Road Less Stupid, as an entrepreneur, this should be a book that actually is by your side, at your desk, within reach at all times. It's something you can pick up and turn to any chapter in the book and start reading it, and it'll add value to your business. And it's doing that for me, and it's doing that for you it can do that for you as well. So if you don't have it already, make a note, write it down right now. Order The Road Less Stupid from Amazon.com or wherever you order your books from, and make that happen. Get that book. It's also on audio format, so you can get it now on Audible and download the audio so you can listen to it. And that's what I was actually doing. I was in my car this past weekend and listening to the book after I've already read it, but now I'm listening to it. And some things started clicking for me, and it made sense given the last two lessons that I've given on the Daily Dose of Awesome as it relates to the success formula, the language patterns of successful people, and how they problem solve. This actually fit perfectly into a problem solving process that I want to share with you guys. And this is from the perspective of Keith Cunningham. Now, Keith Cunningham doesn't know he has these language patterns. He just, thinks a certain way. And in this book, in The Road Less Stupid, I have it right here. So you see I have it right here. I'm on page, it's actually very early in the chapter on page 15. Page 13. He talks about, separating the symptom, the symptom from the problem. And so, and how you go about doing that. And so right now what I want you guys to do is I want you guys, to share with me in 3 words or less, 5 words max, right now what your biggest problem is right now. So tell me right now what your biggest problem. I want to see it on the comment section. Don't be shy. I'm not going to get mad at you. It's not embarrassing. No one else is going to judge you. Just let us know what your biggest problem is in 5 words or less. And so in The Road Less Stupid, this is what Keith Cunningham actually does. He works with so many entrepreneurs when he actually asks for what are their biggest problems or obstacles in their way. They start listing things out like customers not buying enough, not enough customers, market is competitive, not enough prospects, no clarity on target market, poor lead conversion, lack of referrals, lack of repeat business, lack of differentiation, lack of competitive advantage, poor messaging, etc., etc. And so these are the problems that people state, and so these are the problems that people try to solve, and that's where they get mixed up. And so Paul's sharing with me engagement, hesitation to take action. So okay, all right, Michael, hesitation, growing my list. So that's a problem for Eric, growing his list. So basically, Eric, is that would you say lack of prospects or lack of leads? Building relationships with my followers. So building relationships. Now, one of the key tips that thank you for guys for being honest. Flavia is growing my list, which comes with lack of engagement. Okay, so growing. Problem is growing your list. Well, you could even put more effort in stating the problem in saying like, if your list is not big enough or your list is not growing, that type of thing. Growing my list is not in and of itself a problem. So you might want to be more specific in terms of, no prospects and customers. Thank you, Mañando. That's actually exactly what I was looking for. Finding others to do business with, work not just saying they want to do the business. Oh, okay. Find others to do. So basically, find new recruits, new people for your downline, for your organization. Getting Facebook to improve my ad. There you go. Right. Doing an online Vulcan mind meld with my followers. So guys, what you guys have actually shared with me, a lot of them, except for the Vulcan mind meld thing. I don't know what that is, but what you guys actually have shared with me, and what I had described here with not enough customers not buying enough, lack of referrals, lack of repeat business, lack of differentiation, lack of leads. My leads aren't growing, or my list isn't growing. I don't have enough people to talk to. My ads aren't converting. Someone saying converting leads into sales. My leads aren't converting. What I'm basically sharing with you right now, not only based on my personal experience, but also something Keith Cunningham discussed in his book, is that these things are not really your problem. So these things are not really your problem. What the issue is, these are actually the symptom of a problem. And the trap that entrepreneurs get caught up in is that we have trouble separating our problem from the symptom. And we actually keep saying that, what's really our problem is this, or what's really a problem is that. And we state it as a statement, so it persists. Our mind basically accepts that problem as fact and reality, and it doesn't. You actually don't, have your mind work towards finding a solution because you're stating it like a problem. Or you're stating it as a statement. So not only are you stating the symptom, you're stating it as a statement, and therefore it doesn't work. There's a chart, and I'm going to draw it here on a little piece of paper so you guys can see it. There's a chart there's a drawing that Keith Cunningham draws oftentimes, and I want to draw it for you guys right now. So here in this piece of paper right here, you guys see two lines, and the horizontal line is, and the line that's going up is ought. And so basically, this is where your business is. This is where you'd like it to be. So the gap that currently exists here is right here. So this is the gap. So right now, some of you with are lack of leads or lack of conversions or no sales or whatever that is. That's where you're at. Where you'd like to be is at a certain number of sales, a certain number of lead conversions, a certain level of performance. So that's the first clue for you, is that you need to be very specific about where it is you want to be, where it is you want to go, what level of lead conversions. And just saying, I want any lead conversions is not helpful. And so if you guys can tell me right now, specifically related to the problem that you guys just shared with me, where do you want to be in 30 days? What specific number, what specific thing do you want to achieve in 30 days? And so just tell me that. But the gap is what you guys just described. When I asked you guys what your problems were, the gap was the symptom. So the gap is equivalent to the system. That's what you guys described when you guys were saying lack of lead conversion, leads not converting into sales, not getting my ads approved, no prospects or customers, growing. My list isn't growing. People aren't engaging with me. And so what you guys described as the gap, and you guys don't realize it, but the real problem you're trying to solve for is hidden. The real problem you're trying to solve for is right here. Let me just draw it here. So there is actually a big honking obstacle right there that's actually keeping you from achieving what you want to achieve. It's keeping you from going from is to ought. And again, this is something from Keith Cunningham. And so this thing right here is what you're actually trying to solve for. You're not trying to solve for this, the gap, the symptom, the problem you stated. You're trying to find what this is and fix that. And most of the time, this is trying to find that big black ball that's standing in your way it can be a bit difficult to do. And so what I want to share with you right now are some questions you might ask yourself. Again, going back to the success formula that we talked about 2 weeks ago, some questions you might ask yourself which will help you better understand what your actual problem is and how to start working on it so you can actually start moving forward. Looking real quick at the comments here. I like to have 100 likes on my business page so I can schedule my next appointment with my coach. Fantastic, right? That's great. In action with an ad that's improving in reach and clicks. All right, let's get more specific, Michael. What level of reach and clicks? 3 quality exposures daily. That's very specific. Thank you. 1,000 new leads in a month. Great. I have at least one new have at least one new distributor and to join my team. Great. I want to be making $5,000 in my affiliate commission in 30 days and recruit 5 to 10 people into my MLM. Adrian, that's good, but I don't know where you're currently at right now, but if you're just starting off and this is your first time engaging with Elite Marketing Pro and you're within your first few days, that might not be a realistic goal for you. I don't know who you are. To get 50 highly motivated customers. So now you guys have defined where it is you actually want to be. So you actually want to be here, the ought. So you guys have defined more clearly what this looks like. The more specific, the better. But you still haven't figured out how to solve for this. So how you solve for that is you ask yourself a series of specific questions. Now, most entrepreneurs are always trying to solve for the symptom, and what it causes them to do is it causes them to be tactical. And so you kind of just lurch towards whatever is available. Someone tells you to try this, you try that. Somebody launches a new course on the internet, and you go buy it and you try that. You're reaching, or you're grasping at straws. You're grasping at things that may or may not be able to help you. And so the process I'm going to take you through now is just to help show you a way to kind of analyze your situation so you can actually find that big black ball that's keeping you stuck. So first and foremost, some ineffective questions that we tend to tell ourselves or ask ourselves when it is we're trying to solve a problem. First and foremost, stating the problem as a statement, as I said before, is not helpful. So when you say, I lack referrals, or I lack leads, I lack sales, I lack conversions from lead to sale. When you say like that, what it actually is conditioning your mind to do is to accept it. To accept that this is a reality, this is fact, because it's a statement. And so my recommendation is first, don't start off with stating it as a fact. Don't even state it as a statement. You want to state it in the form of a question. However, another ineffective question is when you ask, why, for example, if you're poor, why am I poor? Why do I lack lead conversions? Why do I lack, more prospects to talk to? Why do I? And that question doesn't help either. It's actually a very ineffective question, and I won't get into it right now, but you actually don't ever want to ask yourself a question that starts with why. it doesn't help you. It actually will perpetuate your state of stuckness. So that's not the approach you want to take. So those are examples of ineffective ways of approaching your problem and dealing with your situation. Now, if this is helpful for you so far, drop me number 5, because I'm now going to drop into the 3 questions that are the most effective for helping you solve your whatever problem you may be dealing with, and help you move forward. Let me look at some comments real quick. Question: is ineffective if you ask why about the problem or issue? Yes. So Michael, that's exactly what I just stated. Stating the problem is not helpful. Yes. Awesome. All right, Michael, Eric, thank you for dropping the 5s. All right, so let's get to what questions you might ask. These 3 fundamental questions that Keith Cunningham recommends that help you get unstuck and gain clarity on what the actual root of the problem is. The first one is, what are the possible reasons or causes I'm noticing this symptom? So if you know what the symptom is, and you can clearly identify that, but you don't actually have clarity around what the problem is, in some cases the problem may be obvious, but in other cases it may be more hidden. So you might ask yourself, what are the possible reasons I'm noticing these symptoms? So start with that. List out the reason. So actually, don't just ask yourself the question, answer the question. So the next thing is, what isn't happening that if it did happen would cause the perceived gap, the symptom, to either narrow or disappear? So what isn't happening if it did happen would cause the perceived gap or symptom to either narrow or disappear? So now, what needs to happen? What specific actions need to take place on your part, or what type of results need to be produced in your business for that gap to close? Now, you can't just say, "Oh, if I had more leads, then my problem of lack of leads would be solved." No, what other things need to happen in your business that would cause that gap to close? The third one is, what is happening that if it stopped happening would cause the perceived gap or symptom to narrow or disappear? Now, this is different. What is happening that if it stopped happening would cause the perceived gap or symptom to narrow or disappear? So there may be something that's actually happening that is negatively affecting your business. For most of you right now, this might not be an issue, but maybe there is an issue. Maybe there's an issue around procrastination, and if you stop procrastinating, you'd make more progress in your business. But that's the final question, because it's a little bit of a harder one to attack. Now, what isn't happening if it did happen would cause the perceived gap symptom to narrow or disappear? Now, what these questions allow you to do is it allows you to start analyzing and start digging to discover what your actual problem is. And a couple of in the previous Daily Dose of Awesome, when I talked about the success formula, the pattern of questions that you ask yourself, this is what's called, what I referred to as a stage 2. These are stage 2 questions. And these stage 2 questions are basically historical or data gathering type questions. So this is what you start off with. You start gathering data and information where you ask yourself a series of what questions that help you find information that could be useful. Some of that information is not something you grasp from observation, from your metrics, or anything like that. It might be some of this information that you tend to analyze come from asking yourself these questions. What are the possible reasons for the symptoms I'm noticing? What isn't happening that if it did happen would cause the symptom to either narrow or disappear? And what is happening that if it stopped happening would cause the symptoms to narrow or disappear? So, Michael, thank you for writing these down. It's really, really awesome of you guys. So the action items for you guys from this Daily Dose of Awesome is for you guys to have these questions handy, so that when you are dealing with an issue, and sometimes the issue is obvious, but sometimes the issue is a little harder. For example, when you're running your Facebook ads and you've run 5 different versions of ads and you have results, you have data, but then the results aren't there that you're looking for. One, it helps to get very specific on the result you're looking for. But 2, these are questions that help you dig deeper into the actions you're taking. the data gathering process in the stage two, in stage two of the success formula, is where you're probably going to spend the most time. And so I implore you guys, I recommend you guys to actually spend quite a bit of time gathering information about, or not a lot of time, but gathering, spend enough time where you're gathering information so you have all the information you need in order to move forward towards stage three, which is creating an action plan. And once you create that action plan, it's just about executing that action plan. That's stage four. But stage two is where you're going to spend the most of your time. And what Keith Cunningham shared with me here is that it doesn't help simply stating what your problem is. It doesn't help just simply saying, I lack blank, I don't know what to do. That doesn't help. A way you become resourceful and a way you become empowered is you start asking yourself questions that might be more effective for you. Guys, if this is helpful for you guys, drop me number 7. Let me know that this has provided a little bit of insight for you, and has given you a little bit of a different approach. Remember this chart. This is a visual representation of everything I just shared right now. Remember, this is what the actual problem is, but we rarely talk about what the actual problem is. Maybe what the actual problem is that you need to get more training on Facebook ads. Or maybe the actual problem is that you need to get more training on copywriting, and the reason your ads suck, your ads aren't performing, is because your copy is not effective. And so but I don't know that for sure. You need to ask yourself those questions, and maybe also ask other people those type of questions. This is the reason we have ad reviews. This is the reason we have one-on-one coaching available. This is the reason we have our Facebook group in the community, and also for our VIP members. The reason we have that is so you can gather information, you gather other people's feedback. It doesn't help just sitting there posting stuff in the group about bitching and complaining about the gap. The type of questions you want to ask in the group are the type of questions I just discussed on this call, so you can figure out what this is. Anytime you're in a state of desperation, you're emotional, you're frustrated, you very likely you're in a state that's not going to be helpful for asking effective questions. So take a breather, take whatever you need to take, have a glass of wine to relax yourself, so that you can better ask effective questions. So you're not focused on here. You eventually are able to ask questions that help you arrive here, so that you can get here. So that's it for today, guys. Hopefully this is helpful. Again, this is a process for thinking. This is what we want to focus on a lot this year, on how you guys approach your thinking and your problem solving, so that people don't have to spoon feed you every single solution. And guess what? When people don't have to spoon feed you everything, that's going to be your advantage in the marketplace, because now you're going to be able to figure stuff out on your own that other people haven't figured out. And that's the way you're going to stand out. So thank you, guys. Hopefully this is helpful. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Mañando. Yes, I know how to pronounce that. Tom, Wendy, Lisa, Angeline, Pamela. Thank you guys for participating and being on here. I will talk to you guys later. Take care.